Hey guys, have you ever wondered how VTubers get such expressive avatars? Or maybe you've bought a model for yourself and you're struggling to get it to be as expressive as you want? Hi, I'm Corey of Space Trash VT. I'm a full-time VTuber artist and I'm here to help you get a better understanding on how to handle your new model. Now, most VTuber models are made in a program called Live2D. We'll discuss more how Live2D works in another video, but essentially you take a bunch of separate parts and you tell the program how you want those pieces to move together when being tracked by a third-party program, primarily VTube Studio or an alternative like PRPR Live. And that's the whole thing, right? Wrong. Chances are when you're first pulling your model out of the box, you're going to have to do a bunch of personalization within your tracking program of choice in order to get it to be the most expressive as possible. But ultimately, this is where your model might become limited. Even a highly expressive model can be incredibly limited depending on the tracking hardware you're working with. Now, I do want to clarify, this is not me saying that you should run out and buy the highest quality tech possible right off the bat. There's definitely ways to make even VTuber models that are being tracked with a webcam look good, but this will require you to work with your rigger to find a solution that works for both you and your present tech. Let's take a moment to look at some different examples of tracking straight out of the box where the only differences are tracking hardwares that I'm using. For this example, I'll be using my Catloaf model. This is my personal model that I use for non-art related content. Feel free to take a peek at it live on stream at twitch.tv/catloaf. Here we have 3 examples of tracking: a standard webcam, my personal Samsung phone, and an iPhone X, which is the phone that I primarily use for my personal tracking. Right off the bat, we can see how different these tracking methods are. The webcam clearly by default struggles with expression changes and eye tracking. The Samsung phone does a better job, but still not as fluid as we can get, and the iPhone X being the most fluid out of the 3. I'd like to additionally note that I'm not using VBridger, a software that can be used to enhance movements of both NVIDIA-based tracking and iPhone-based tracking for VTubing. These are just basic hardware movements on their own. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Corey, you're hard coping. The webcam one looks like a nightmare compared to the other 2. And you're not wrong, but it's because the model's movement range and the webcam are incompatible. The model itself has a larger range of motion than the webcam is able to keep up with. So how do we go about making it track better? This is where you'll want to work directly with your rigger to find a solution for you. When I first started streaming back in 2021, I used a VTuber model that I made for myself, my very first model at that, and a webcam. I personally dealt with the limitations of my hardware by having the eyes track with my mouse rather than my actual eyes, and I had a lot of expressions toggled instead of with base tracking. That way, the only parameters that I had to worry about the webcam actually being able to track were my eyes opening and closing, which most tracking programs actually also allow you to automate, and mouth opening and closings. These changes will lessen the load off of your tracking hardware, but do require more hands-on care in order to make the most of your model. Now, doing these things won't get it to be as fluid as the other 2. However, it will make it look less janky, and it definitely is a great way to start when you're on a budget and not able to upgrade hardware right away. Now, please, especially if you're just starting out or if you can't afford upgraded hardware, don't feel like you have to have these things to succeed as a VTuber. There's a ton of VTubers out there, especially corpos, that don't have particularly expressive models. Just try to have fun with it and play around with something to find something that works for you. There's also a ton of PNG and GIF tubers out there that make up for their lack of hardware with really expressive and creative PNG and GIF tubers. So just get out there and find something that works for you, that you have fun using, so that your community will be able to tell that you're having fun using it. Ultimately, that's all I've got, but I hope being able to see the comparison between several tracking types will help you better understand what you're needing to know when setting up your first VTuber model. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them in either replies or maybe in a new video. If you're in the market for a VTuber artist and rigger that is willing to work with you and is able to explain details to you in order to feel comfortable with your first model setup, please consider commissioning me in my card link below. Thanks for watching my video, and if you'd like to support my content, please consider hitting the subscribe button or even checking out my Ko-Fi page. See you guys next time, bye!
What would you do if you saw a raccoon floating from outer space? Call John Quinones, pat it on the back perhaps. Let K05 investigate now. Surely we're gonna find what's going on in this place now.
Hey guys, have you ever wondered how VTubers get such no, cut that. Let's take a moment to look at some tracking. Let's take a moment to look at some tracking. Nope, the word tracking's not there. That's not a thing that's there. Good job though, nice try. And an iPhone X. Nobody says iPhone X, they say iPhone 10. Why did you say that? 10, the phone that I put. Here we have 3 on it at some point in those. Does that sentence make sense? There's definitely a lot of resources out there that are more in depth. Future. We'll make some sort of more. Nope. You stopped reading and you started thinking. Stop thinking, just read. Yeah, no, this. Just cut the whole section. Please consider it. The self-plug's getting messy.